Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today we're going to present our mini project titled Investigation into Student Satisfaction in Online Class for June 2020 session. My name is Rezza Daniel bin Abdul Rahman and my matric number is 10DTK19F1020 and the others member names are Shang Yi with matric number 10DTK19F1004, Muhd Aiman bin Abdul Hadi with matric number 10DTK19F1009, and lastly Muhammad Akmal bin Abdul Aziz with matric number 10DTK19F1010. First, I'm going to present for section A about demographic information. According to the data that we gathered from our survey for gender, about 70% of the respondents are male and 30% are female. For department, 48% of the respondents are from electrical engineering department and 20% are from commerce, and another 20% are from information technology and communication, and the least 12% are responded from mechanical engineering.
My name is Shang Yi, number matric 10DTK19F1004. This bar graph indicates the yes or not for respondent use PC, handphone or laptop for online class. So x-axis for this graph indicate the percentage of the 15 respondents. Y-axis is for in this graph is indicate yes or not for the respondent. So in this graph, we can see the percentage of the student answer yes is more than the percentage of student answer no. The longest bar of the chart is made up of 19x percentage are voting yes, and the shortest bar of the chart is consistent of 10% are voting no. So the majority of the students have PC, handphone or laptop to attend online class.
Okay, now I'm going to present the bar graph for question 2. The bar graph represents the respondent feedback on did your place of stay has an appropriate internet connection to coordinate with online learning. The x-axis represents the number of respondents in percentage, while the y-axis represents yes and no. According to the graph, the highest frequency, which accounted for 78% of the respondents, picked yes. Meanwhile, the respondent who picked no is drastically lower than yes, which accounted for 22% only. To conclude, vast amount of students has an appropriate internet connection to coordinate with online learning at their place of stay. Okay, now I'm going to present the pie chart for question 3. The pie chart portrays the respondent feedback on rate the internet speed satisfaction at your place of stay. The 4 choices that the respondent can pick are very satisfied, satisfied, dissatisfied, and very dissatisfied. The yellow segment, which is the smallest segment out of all the segments, shows that only 10% of the respondents picked very dissatisfied. After that, the green segment, which is the second smallest segment that recorded only slightly above 10%, is for the respondent who picked very satisfied. Afterward, the second largest segment with the blue hue, which accounted for less than a quarter, is for the respondent who picked dissatisfied. Lastly, the largest segment of the chart with the red hue, which make up more than half of the pie, is for the respondent that paid satisfied with the internet speed connection. To sum it all up, most majority of the students are satisfied with their internet speed and only a few that are very dissatisfied.
This pie chart shows the time respondents spent for their PC, laptop, or mobile phone during the pandemic in the day. So this pie chart was draw conclusion to all 15 respondents who have made this response. So they have 5 awesome, and blue color is 1 to 3 hours, red is 4 to 6 hours, and orange is 7 to 8 hours, green is 9 to 10 hours, purple is more than 10 hours. So, and the first, the largest segment of the chart, which is 3/10 of the total respondents, state that 4 to 6 hours spent in a day. And next, there are two identical value records, which are more than 10 hours and 7 to 8 hours, which accounted for exactly 30 out of 50 of the total respondents. And 9 to 10 hours on the other hand is recorded slightly more than a tenth of the response. Meanwhile, only small fraction of respondents spend in 1 to 3 hours in a day. That's only comprise 4% of the total response. So, and in the conclusion, the majority of the students spend their time at PC, laptop, and mobile phone in the range from 4 to 6 hours in a single day.
Well, hello. My name is Muhammad Aiman. I'm from the DK4A. My matrix number is 10-TF1009. So let's get to the point. This pie chart indicates the problem that the respondent face in online class. This pie chart also consists from four popular problems, which is technical issues, internet problem, lack of in-person interaction, and the time management. As you can see, the smaller segment of the chart, which only made up less than 10%, state that time management is the least problem that the respondent face while going to online class. Next, 16% of this pie chart has made lack of in-person interactions to be the second most common problem faced by respondents while studying online class. Meanwhile, with just only 4% difference, the technical issue has been placed third. Last but not the least, the largest segment of the chart that makes up more than half of this chart state that internet problem is the most problem that they face while going to online class. To sum up, we can see that the most common problem faced by the respondents when going to online class is internet problems, followed by lack of person interactions, and the third is technical problem, and the last is the time management. For the sixth graph, this pie chart indicates the difficulty level of learning via online class. As you can see from this pie chart, the majority of respondents prefer learning face-to-face rather than via online, with 64% respondents vote for difficult, which make them to be the majority of this pie chart. Next, the respondents vote for not difficult, which accounted for 80% with only a 2% difference between the segment of very difficult, which accounted for only 16%. Last but not the least, only a small minority of respondents prefer learning via online class, which they vote for very not difficult, which accounted for 2% only. As the conclusion that we can see here, the majority of the respondents more prefer to learn face-to-face than rather going to online class, as it shows going for online class is difficult for them.
Assalamualaikum puan. First thing I want to intro myself. My name is Muhd Aiman Aziz. My meter number is 10DTK19F1010 from class DTK48. Now I want to explain about graph. Have you ever missed online class due to the internet problem? Yes, and I'm sure a handful of students must have a internet problem for the class. And the bar graph depict the responded the feedback on have you ever missed online class because of internet problem. For x-axis responded represent represent the yes or no frequency. It can be clearly seen the number of responded. It can be said the mass or half of responded for yes have ever missed online class because a signature a lower yes for yes. For conclusion, the majority of students has experienced missed online class because some problem internet.
This pie chart indicates the difficulty of sending an assignment via online. From this pie chart, we can see the largest segment of the chart, which is half of the total respondents, state that majority of respondents agree that the difficulty of sending an assignment via online is medium, with 3-star vote as the highest. Next, 2-star was voted for 20%, which make them to be the second largest segment of this pie chart. Meanwhile, the third vote is 4-star, which accounted for 40% with only 2% difference between the segment 1-star. Last but not the least, 5-star is voted the least by the respondents, which accounted for 4% only. As for the conclusion, the majority of these students thought as the as for the conclusions, we can see the majority of the respondents thought the difficulties of sending an assignment via online is medium. Thank you.
This bar graph shows whether the respondents experience late submission of assignment due to internet problem. In this bar graph, x-axis is the number of respondents in percentage, while the y-axis is represent yes and no. The number of the respondents yes is the higher frequency, which accounted for 74 respondents. Meanwhile, the option of no is significantly lower than yes. There were 74 cases recorded for yes and only 36 cases for no. So the majority of students has experienced in the late submission of assignment due to internet problem.
And for next graph, I will explain about opinion. Opinion about what online class on June 2020 season a success. Okay. Now for the bar graph depend on the respondent feedback on opinion about online online class in June 2020 season a success. From the graph from the graph it can say almost responded yes for online class is June 2020 season was a success. For success 17% because be able to learn at the home pace and learn at their convenience. Meanwhile, while those who responded no, their 36% may have a certain constraint or have internet problem. And the last what I said, this online class will be have a server some a few advantages and disadvantages.